Okay, question, we'll get rid of this here. Question 4, section 9.1. It says the graph shows the increase in total height for each step of a staircase, which is kind of funny because if you look at the pattern, it actually looks like an actual staircase. If I was to draw this out using the marker, I'll choose black here. If I was to draw it out and kind of start here and go up and over and up and over and up and over and up and over, I would actually create a staircase, which is kind of ironic. But it says, describe the patterns you see in the graph. Well, for me, it actually looks like a staircase, like I just showed you. So it looks like a stair goes one to the left and one up each time, one to the left, one up, one to the left, one up, one to the left. Or if we really look at the units, it goes one left and really 20 up, because this is what 20 is over here. So one to the left and 20 up, one to the left and 20 up, one to the left and 20 up. That's one way to describe the pattern. Another way to describe the pattern would be if I was to connect the dots, it would form a straight line. There's a whole bunch of different ways we could word that, but those are the two that probably are the most common ways to describe that pattern. Question B says, make a table of values for the graph. So I'll grab my little table of values thing here, and I'll just grab, I don't know, we'll say 6 of them. And I'll bring it over here. Oh, I'll grab my grabber tool and grab this. Bring it, oh, not that. Come on, be good to me. Uh, Help me, Houston. All right, I'm just going to bring this over here. I'll just bring it right over here, and I'll just ignore it. There, take that, you dumb squirrel. All right. So here's our table of values, and in this one here, I'm going to label this one. Well, if I look at my table of values, I have 1, 2, 3, 4. So the number of steps I'm going to use as my left. Number of steps. And for my y value, or my other chart, I'm going to use height. I'm going to put in brackets the units, which are centimeters. And number of steps, of course, is just numbers. So when I take one step, the height of the stair, now one step is 20 centimeters. If I look at 2 steps, if I follow my chart here, 2 steps becomes 40. And if you follow that chart, you can see 3 steps is actually 60. 4 steps is 80 centimeters. And I think that's all they left. So they have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 20, 40, 60, 80. That's question B. So the table of values for this one would be this right here. And it says, if the pattern continues, what is the total height on step 10? So what I can do is actually on my table of values, put step 10 and figure out what would it be. Well, the first thing I could do is just go, okay, 20, 40, 60, 80. 5 would be 100, 6 would be 120, 7 would be 140, 8 would be 160, 9 would be 180, and 10 would be 200 centimeters or 2 meters. I could do it that way. Or in what we're going to learn later on is we can actually find out what this is in terms of its relation to algebra. And we can say that's n, and this is h, and that the number of steps in relation to h, how do we figure that out? Well, if I look at 1, what did I do to get 20? Well, I really multiplied this n, this number here, by 20 to get this, and I multiplied this number by 20 to get this, and I multiplied this number by 20. So I multiplied my n by 20, which in algebra we say is a coefficient. So 20 times n, or 20 times the step number, is equal to the height. So that would be my formula, and all I'd have to do is go back and look, okay, step 10 would be 20, and this the number of steps is 10 steps, so I could substitute that in, and I could say, well, that's 20 times 10, which is the height, which is 200, and I've solved for my height. Don't get too worked up on that one. That's more, that's later on in this chapter, but that's just to show you how you could have solved question 4C using algebra rather than just figuring it out mentally.